Hello and welcome to Chasing Growth. The purpose is to encourage Christian leaders to get better. When you get better, everybody wins in your family, your organization, your ministry, your church, your neighbors win when you get better. And we have a call to just keep growing and getting better, to be that difference, that different leadership as Christian leadership. So that's very important to remember. And remember that everyone, as long as you have influence, and we all have that influence, you are a leader. Sometimes maybe it's not a position, but you still have the opportunity to lead somebody to a better place. Today I want to talk about the leadership satisfaction. And when you think about leader satisfaction, you can see in people what kind of satisfy them as leader, and sometimes can be just the position. I remember this guy years ago being so excited about the position and saying things like, now that I'm a leader, I cannot make this type of joke with these people. Clearly, the position was a big deal for him because somehow the position means to change the way he expressed. When I was not in this position of leadership, I was able to do this and do that, which doesn't make any sense. It's like saying that in the past I was able to do these bad things, but now the people can see me, I cannot. So that's not real leadership. But the problem is that many people get the satisfaction from leadership out of the position. They want the position, they want the office, they want the title. And it's a real thing. People, I don't dress this way anymore because I'm a leader now. I'm in this position, this title. And the people tend to believe those things. And sadly, that's a clear indication that the satisfaction of leadership come from, their satisfaction as a leader come from the position. Also come from the influence. If you're a leader, some people just like to be known. Some people just like to know they know people and they have this influence and they can arrange things and can do things and they feel so good and their satisfaction comes from that. And you see this a lot in churches because people know them and they're in contact with people and they're in the presence of a lot of people, the exposure. So the satisfaction as a leader can come from that influence, that exposure they have. And these are just examples when that satisfaction as a leader can come. Also, that satisfaction can come from what others say about your leadership. Your leadership is so good. Your leadership impacted my life. Or some people can say things about your leadership they heard and the influence you have and how positive it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what is the problem about all these things? When you let these things, the position, the influence, what other people say about it, or maybe what people, like the testimonies of people who have been with you say about you, things like that, start getting in your head and you start getting the satisfaction from there. This is a very dangerous thing for the Christian leader, especially for a leader in a church, because there's many people talking about you. And again, if you're getting your satisfaction from these positive things that people is doing, from the position or from the influence, what happened when you don't have it anymore? What happened when actually right now the things they're saying are not good about you? What happened when the position is not there anymore, when the office is not there anymore? What happened when you lose the influence? Because many things, you change churches or you move, I don't know, different things like that. What happened if that influence is attacked by gossip and you don't have it anymore? What happened? From where you get your satisfaction? And the way to really know this is you got to ask this question to yourself. When you're in silence, thinking about you, thinking about your leadership, when there's nothing going on, where your minds go? And a lot of times your mind may go to fears, your mind may go to anxieties, your mind may go to ambitions, to dreams, daydreams about having things. And suddenly all those things are feeding to that satisfaction that you want. And a lot of people tend to get those from leadership in different ways. But the reality is that when that happens, you as a Christian leader, you can realize very quickly that your satisfaction doesn't come from God. Because at the moment that you stop thinking about anything, there's nothing interrupting, and all the thoughts are about you, about what you can get, about fears, anxieties, and what I can get, and the future, and what I'm gonna do, and dreaming about the position, and dreaming about the influence, and dreaming about being famous and being known. Clearly, at that moment, you will know that your satisfaction as a leader comes from the wrong place. And you can call it idols if you want. A position can be an idol. The influence that you have may be an idol, and this can affect anybody, not only Christian leader, but any leader. So where your satisfaction come from? If you're a Christian leader, your satisfaction should come from God. And how can you get that done? So the thing is that a lot of time, as Christian leader, we start in the wrong place. We especially this day with exposure and social media and all this stuff, it's a lot about ourselves, promote ourselves. A lot about the skinny jeans and being on the stage. You know the stories about people in churches almost fighting to be on the stage, fighting to be recognized and what they can do. Nobody go to church and say, tell me what I can do for you. And they tell you, well, we had a clean toilet, and you do it happily and quiet. A lot of people just want to be the exposure, the position, again, the influence. And the problem is they're getting satisfaction from that place. And as Christian leaders, we should be getting our satisfaction from Christ. So what can we do? What can we do? And how can we start this right? And I got to tell you, if you're a young leader, you need to get this right. And if you're not, you're somebody who have been leading for a while, you know that if you're not doing this, you're struggling. You're struggling with your leadership. You're struggling in all the areas of your leadership, not only at work on the organization, but also as a father, as a husband. So I got to tell you, not a secret, but it's something that you have to do. And this have to do with discipline and continue the consistency of the mundane. The consistency of the mundane, the difficult. And every time I discuss this with people, I always find these different kind of arguments against it. And I don't know why, because there's not really an argument against it. This is just so good that not doing it is just ridiculous. So this is the thing. The only way that your satisfaction comes from God really is to seek Him first. And what that means? Reading His Word. Seeking Him early in the morning. You say, well, I'm not a morning person. Well, that's what I'm talking. It's a mundane thing, have to be with this consistency. Falling in love with His Word. Falling in love with the Father. Falling in love with what He has for you. Receiving this, the Spirit, and receiving this awareness of what's going on through the Spirit. The power of the Spirit. And you cannot just not do that. You cannot compromise this. And sometimes will be mundane and difficult. Those 30 minutes, that an hour early in the morning. If you ever have seen a Christian leader, they have been some type of impact in the world. I guarantee you many of them have been doing this, especially when their legacy lasts. And I'm not talking about people who just loud and have a big church and they just last for a generation or two. I'm talking about the real deal, the name that people remember for generations. They definitely discipline themselves. They work in the mundane. And I know that work is not appealing, but it's something so important. So the only way to get the right satisfaction in your leadership is to learn to get your satisfaction from God. And how you get your satisfaction from God is seeking Him first, in His Word, in prayer, in meditation, and spending time with Him. Now, this is the argument that people always tell me. Well, I'm not a morning person. I thought we go with in the car. When I'm driving, I have my great moments with God. And listen, I get it. There's some people who don't like mornings, and I get that. I know there's people who have great times in the car with the Lord. Myself, I have been there too. However, let me tell you these two things. If the most important thing in the world will be for you to take a pill, and that pill will keep you alive for the rest of the day, will you wake up early and that will be the first thing that you do? That's a simple question. If that pill will keep you alive the rest of the day, and you have to do it in the morning, there's no way to stay alive, you don't take it early in the morning, will you miss it? No. You will wake up early in the morning and you will make sure to do it. You will put the time, the energy, and the money, if necessary, to make that happen. Right? So learning to get your satisfaction from God is part of that. When people say, the whole being in the car, I just think about a relationship. If your relationship with your wife, which hopefully if you're married, that's your biggest friendship and relationship beside God, if you will have just that relationship only in the car, you only will talk with your wife when in a car, tell me how good a relation will be. Not that good. It's the same thing with God. It's a relationship. The only way to get the right satisfaction from your leadership is getting the right satisfaction in God. That God is your satisfaction. That God come and satisfy everything in your leadership. Not the position, not the influence, not the exposure, not the stage, not the good jobs, not the high fives. Only God. And only going to happen if you start every single day, because every single day will bring their own challenge to your leadership. So you understand that, and you understand the impact that you're having on people, and how important it is to get the satisfaction from God, get close to God, so you don't mess up for other people. You will take it as a pill to keep you alive. Well, going to God in the morning, it will be your pill to stay alive the rest of the day and have a real impact, and never fall for the idea that it's about you and all that stuff. And you heard the stories about leaders, Christian leaders, that have done stupid stuff, and then they bring a bad testimony to the church, bad testimony to Christians, and that's, I'm sure, is because they have not. They were not willing to work in the discipline and the mandate of seeking God first in the morning, even when it's difficult, when it's mandate, and reading the Word, loving it, spending time with the Father, recognizing, reminding you who you are in Christ, a child of God, a holy nation, royal priest, salt of the earth, the light in the darkness, a city on a hill, all that stuff. You remind yourself of all the things. So you align your whole day, your whole leadership. So when things happen in your leadership, position, exposure, and all that stuff, you know how to take it. And when you don't have it, you don't have a problem with that, because your satisfaction come from God. So I want to encourage you today. If you're a Christian leader and you're going, you're busy and you're running and you like to look busy and you know the right word to say in Christianity to sound like a cool leader, and you use all the terms and the lingo and all that stuff, let me tell you, you got to stop. That will happen or not. That you may have some influence here and there, but it may be like just some influence and you may mess it up later, whatever. If you're a father, you're a leader. If you're a mother, you're a leader. But you're struggling with all this, let me tell you, you have to start your day seeking God. Not because just you is the thing is so important. It's because the people you get to influence. And when you learn to get your satisfaction from God through that sometimes mundane process, with consistency will reveal to you that satisfaction. And you start praying for the awareness of the Spirit, and that you can see things clear. And you start praying for God to help you to be the best leader possible in His power. And then you start reading the Word and understanding that His Word is His voice to your ears in the morning. And you start aligning your day with that, you will be an effective leader. There's no shortcut on this. There's no way around. You can pretend for a while, and I'm telling you, if you ask this question today, from where you getting your satisfactions as leader, and you're honest with you, and you answer any of those things or different things like position, influence, exposure, all the things that we like, if that's the answer, you will struggle. Your answer should be your satisfaction as a leader comes from God, and that cannot be changed. And that cannot be taken away. If it's anything else, that can be taken away, that can change. What's going to happen with you if that happens? So I want to encourage you. Wake up early. Seek God. Read the Bible. Meditate. Some days may be hard. But the consistency and the fighting for it and the keep going, I'm telling you, you will become a great leader. A leader to have great influence. You don't gonna even notice. And when that influence, that power, that all the things that you're able to do come, you will give all glory to God, because you know where you're getting all the things, and you will know that your satisfaction comes from God. Thank you for listening. Thank you for stopping by. God bless you. Have a great week.